I will. Good to see you.
Since we are ending Shabbat, I'll say Shabbat Shalom, but I'll also say Chag Sameach because it is the beginning of a festival. I'm so glad you're here for the celebration of Shavuot and confirmation, and we will welcome our class of 2019, 5779. Service this evening with Havdalah to separate from the Sabbath and to the holiness of the festival. You can find Havdalah on page 612. Please turn to page 644 for Hine Ma Tov.
Turn to page 384 for the candle lighting. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel yom tov. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of this festival. May these festival lights open our eyes to the joys of life, beauty that delights the eye, freedom to be ourselves, the knowledge of Torah that shapes our moral being, the heritage of celebration that unites us as a people. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, for giving us life, sustaining us, and enabling us to reach this season.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel yom tov. Baruch atah
My mother used to force me to wake up early and go to Sunday school or go to Hebrew school on Wednesdays after school. I used to hate it because I wanted to do something more fun with my time. After all those years, I'm glad she did, because it made me realize what Judaism is to me. She didn't force me to come here today or get confirmed at all. It was all my choice. I chose to do it for all the people who didn't have a chance to believe in something or were persecuted for doing so. The first person that comes to mind is my grandfather, whose family was forced to flee Austria and go to India when he was young. He had a really rough time growing up. Today, I'm confirming for my grandfather, Alex Waxler, who couldn't be here today, and my mother, Jana Waxler. Thank you, Mom.
Confirmation. Sure, it's this service where we all wear white gowns at the end of the year, but it's so much more. Today I'm confirming not what being Jewish means to me, but what I plan to do as a Jew in the future. I'm an active member of not only RATSI, our temple youth group, but Nifty Nell too. Being Jewish has always been important to me, so therefore I don't feel the need to confirm that part of my identity, but instead I see confirmation as a promise to continue to be an active member of Nifty and just the Jewish community in general. This promise is important to me in my growing up, because if I establish a place, I can come back to seek guidance or just eat the really good food. With many great role models in my life, I've seen that being involved brings many for unavailable otherwise. For example, Nifty Now, which has taught me many great leadership skills that have helped me in my everyday life, and I'm looking forward for 2 more years in Nifty, with this year serving on regional cabinet. Along with Nifty, I'm going to Israel and Poland this summer on the JFI trip, and I'm looking forward to this opportunity, which was made possible by the rest of the Jewish community. These 2 examples and many more are why I'm promising to work on developing my role in this wonderful community.
Please turn to page 400 and rise for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך ונשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בעיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות להם אלוהים. אני אדוני
How can one accept the teachings of a religion whose primary text was written in a time that did not share the values one holds in the 21st century? This is the question I have been grappling with this year through the confirmation program. In fact, it is the question that almost kept me from participating in the first place. And if our 2 rabbis hadn't both separately cornered me during High Holy Day services, it very well might have. As I have matured and my own values have started to form, it was increasingly hard to connect to a text that I knew was written by men, for men, primarily about men, a text that sees menstruation as unholy, that doesn't allow people with disabilities to participate in certain religious activities, that allows for slavery, and that makes a hero of a man who offers up his daughters to be raped. Even though my congregation does not believe in or follow these teachings, I felt like just ignoring the parts we didn't like was like being a bystander. However, over the last year, I have begun to come to terms, and here's how. I have come to realize that the way the values of a society change throughout time is a good thing, and that the discrepancy between my beliefs and the beliefs expressed in the Torah means that humans have the capability to better themselves, and that is a beautiful thing. I have also come to see how important it is for modern thinkers like myself to engage with the text and my Jewish peers, and by challenging and disapproving of parts, become part of that bettering. So here I am, a proud woman with a disability, being confirmed into a religion with a journey I hope I can contribute to. Thank you.
Over the past year, it had become a routine for me to come to temple every Sunday. We would sit together and discuss a new topic every week. I won't lie and say that I always enjoyed coming to confirmation class, but I think it was a good experience for me overall. Each week, we took parts of the Torah and connected it to our lives today. Although it wasn't one we discussed in class, the story of Cain and Abel is very well known. But upon further inspection of the passage, it explicitly states that God was aware of Cain's intention of killing. Before the murder, God tells Cain that sin crouches at the door, implying that God was aware of the crime that was about to occur. However, nothing is done by God to stop this. The quote goes on to say, "You can govern it," which also suggests self-control, as people can choose whether or not to perform these violent acts. Violence in our society seems to be quite common these days, so much that we are sometimes not even surprised when an event like this occurs. Although it seems like a somewhat frequent occurrence in our lives, it is still very tragic every time. Differences in ideas usually fuel these acts of violence, but it also seems that the aftermath of these events, despite being extremely unfortunate, also can bring people together. During violence, good people with different ideas choose to come together and support each other. But how does this connect to our confirmation? I believe we are being confirmed so that we can choose to work together towards a better future. I chose to discuss this topic because it is shown here that it is inevitable that bad things will happen, but what is important is how we choose to react to it. We should teach others and future generations to take stands against these unfair events by coming together. We continue on page 406 with the Mi Chamocha.
Why are we here? Not existentially, that's a topic for another day, but why are we doing this? Why are we being confirmed? I do believe that the idea of confirmation is one worth preserving, that a young person should choose their religion for themselves. But why this elaborate ceremony and why the classes? What do we gain from this? In my view, not as much as we could. I was hoping to use the time with the rabbis to discuss modern controversies and issues relevant to our own lives, yet I was unfortunately disappointed. Additionally, I consider myself to be more culturally Jewish than religiously Jewish. But many topics presumed a belief in God, which, as we were reminded, is a necessity for Reformed Jews. This ultimately resulted in alienation, seemingly the direct opposite of the point of a confirmation class. The class ultimately became a predictable mixture of four things: the rabbis lecturing us, the rabbis scolding us for talking, meaningless and often fruitless discussion on the community service project, or preparing for this ceremony. This ceremony is supposed to be centered around us, but this ceremony is really for everyone but us. It's to parade us as trophies, to prove that we succeeded in becoming good Jewish citizens by showing that we can read Torah, chant prayers, and give speeches. Our speeches should be us speaking our minds, even if that means dissenting with tradition. But these speeches are meant only to pacify, full of recycled ideas and recycled language, meant to again exemplify that we are good Jewish citizens. So why are we doing this? The easy answer is tradition, but that should not be the reason we continue. As the famous transcendentalist Emerson questioned, why should we not have a poetry and philosophy of insight and not of tradition, and a religion by revelation to us and not the history of theirs? So I am being confirmed not to unquestioningly continue these traditions, but to look to create new traditions, so that future generations can feel truly at home in the religion or in the culture that they are supposedly choosing for themselves.
Confirmation is a way to show your continuation of Jewish studies as you become an adult. Learning together, discussing many religious topics, and collaborating with others about faith and ideas is very important in Judaism. As I am being confirmed, I think about how many generations of my family before me have been confirmed and shown how they are continuing their educations religiously. Personally, being Jewish is certainly important because it gives me another community, filled with people who are kind, caring, and relatable. On Sundays, when I come to temple, I see all of my peers and get to be with my friends. Having friends from temple and also having friends in another community at home is quite helpful and is appreciated. After my long year of being in the confirmation class, I have learned that what I'm confirming is my ability to think, interpret, discuss, question, and understand many aspects of Judaism. With a new topic each week, I find it fascinating the many perspectives and mindsets of the many people in the room. Being with this particular group of people for many years has shown me that everyone is a true friend and just as devoted and interested about Judaism as I am. To be a Jew means to belong to a people who showed determination and who withstood many afflictions and misfortunes for thousands of years. Our people have been through many terrible events and hardships, and I can learn about our past and being different parts of our religion. This class is essential for our growth and education as a whole. Being confirmed is important to me, my family, and my friends, confirming what I've learned and what I will continue to learn.
Please rise for the tefillah. Adonai sefer ufia yitehilatecha. Adonai open up our lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor HaTorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Komei HaKol, V'Zocher Hasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula, V'Ifnei B'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo Ve'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah. Ata Yibor Le'olam Adonai, Mekayeh HaKol Atah, V'Rav Le'Oshia, Morihata, Mechayeh Hayim Behesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Ve'ofeh Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umechayeh Unato, Lishenei Afar, Michamo
With dewdrops of light and blessing, let the earth be illuminated and blessed.
Dewdrops of joy and the light, let the earth rejoice and sing out.
With dewdrops of life and well-being, let the earth be revived and improved.
Dewdrops of redemption, let the earth be redeemed.
For blessing and not for curse, for life and not for death, for abundance, not want.
Ata kadosh b'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom, yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated and pray silently.
Confirmation never really had a significant meaning to me until I had to think about it throughout this year in Kesher. Before Kesher, confirmation didn't really feel like it went with Judaism. To me, Judaism feels like community, love, and family, but I didn't know how confirmation fit into that exactly. The only time I had heard confirmation, it was in a religious setting from my Catholic friends last year when they were getting confirmed. One of my friends explained it to me because I wasn't exactly sure what it was. She said for her, and in her religion, it was confirming her faith and loyalty to Catholicism. I didn't think it would be, but her definition is pretty close to what confirmation means to me and how it fits into my life. I found that confirmation fit into her definition in the way that it means keeping faith in what I defined every part of Judaism to be. For example, I don't take everything the Torah says to heart, but I do believe in God, and almost everything Judaism teaches matches with my morals. Another meaning I have found to define confirmation was confirming the friendships and bonds I have made through my years in religious school. I basically grew up with all these people, and confirmation feels like another way for me to see and connect with them. So with confirmation, I'm confirming my beliefs and how I interpret Judaism and taking those ideas through life with me. I know that as I grow and change, my views on Judaism and confirmation will also change with each new experience that I go through, but I know what it means to me now.
What am I confirming? This is a question that I have repeatedly asked myself throughout these past few months. At first, all I could say was that this process was all about confirming my Judaism. However, as I thought about it more and more, I stopped asking myself what I'm confirming and began to ask why I'm confirming it. For me, being Jewish is more of a home than a religion. The community here has always welcomed my family and me with open arms and endless experiences. I've made countless friends from around the world throughout my lifetime, simply by just being part of such an amazing community. In Kesher this year, we learned that if you're born Jewish, you're always considered Jewish, despite how much or little you practice. We were told a story about a woman who was born Jewish but converted to a different religion later in her life. After a while, she decided to go back to Judaism, not knowing what the process would entail. She went to one of the most orthodox rabbis in Israel for direction and was told to do nothing. The rabbi explained that because she was born Jewish, she would always remain Jewish, even if she didn't wish to practice it. Although she had converted to another religion, there was nothing stopping her from becoming Jewish once again. This story showed me that no matter what happens in my life, I will always have a home in Judaism. So I think that today I'm confirming both my eternal home here as well as the friendships and connections that I've made.
We'll turn now to page 494 for the Seder Kriyat HaTorah, our section for the reading of the Torah. Please rise.
בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני יעוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. הרחמים היטיב ברצונך את ציון, תבנה חומות ירושלים, תבנה חומות ירושלים. כי לך לבד בטחנו, מלך אלרם ונישא אדון עולמים. כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה. דבר אדוני מירושלים, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה לעם ישראל בקדושתו. אדוני אדוני יברך בחנון, ערך אפיים ורב חסד ואמת, נוצר חסד לאלפים, נושא עוון וחשע בחדה ונקה. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד, אחד אלוהינו, גדול אדוננו, קדוש שמו, גדלו אדוני
The Torah reading for this this holiday, Shavuot, because this is the celebration, Zman Matan Toratenu, the time of the giving of the Torah, is the 10 words or the 10 ideas, or as some of us call them, the 10 commandments that are found in the Torah. We'll have more on that later. You can find the translation in the booklets that you have. Yamdu Arishonim. Baruch Adonai Habarach Me'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Habarach Me'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayadaber Elohim et kol hadvarim ha'ele le'amor, Anohi Adonai Elohecha, asher hotzeiticha me'eretz Mitzrayim mibeit avodim, lo yeh lecha Elohim acharim al panai.
Lo tasir lahat fesa v'kol timona asher b'shamayim mima asher ba'aretz mitahat asher b'mayim mitahat la'aretz lo tistehaveh lahem v'lo tavdem ki anuhi Adonai Elohehed Elkanah Hoked Avon avod al benim, al shloshim va'al rebeim lisanai.
Be'aseh hesed lalafim, lehavai ulshomrei mitzvotai. Lo tisa et shem Adonai Elohecha lashav, ki lo yenakeh Adonai et Asher Yisra et Shemo Lashav. Zachor et Yom HaShabbat lekadsho, shesh et yamim tavod v'zita kol melachtecha. Vayom hashvi'i Shabbat l'Adonai Elohecha, lo ta'aseh melacha ata uvincha uvitecha, avdecha va'amodcha uvechemtecha v'garha asher b'sharecha.
Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz et hayam v'et kol asher bam v'yahanach bayom hashvi'i al kei ve'erav Adonai et yom hashabbat v'yikadshehu. Et hadicha ve'et yimecha lama'an yamihu yadecha lecha al hadama asher Adonai Elohecha notin lach lo tirtzach lo tidach lo tinos V'ta'aneh etcha eksaker.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Please rise now in honor of the Torah.
Asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael, al pi Adonai biyad Moshe.
Confirmation. That's why we're all here tonight and why we've been here almost every Sunday since September. Throughout the year, when I have been asked why I'm not free to hang out on Sundays from 12 to 2, it has made me question it myself. Why aren't I free? Why am I here at Temple rather than spending those 2 hours doing other things? Right now, that question is being answered. Being confirmed is something that is very important to my family. Living in a world where our people are constantly the minority, it is imperative that we remember and embrace our culture. Anti-Semitism is still an issue in today's world and probably will continue to be. That is why we must stick together and be proud of our Jewish identities to retaliate against it. Even though personally I've always felt Jewish, confirmation is the perfect way to confirm it. I think that confirmation as a whole is a perfect way for us not only to confirm all of our Jewish identities, but also as closure for our many years here at Temple because a bar or bat mitzvah was not enough. Confirmation class has brought me to learn many things, not only about the commandments and levels of mitzvot, but also about what types of values and standards I have. As all of my years in this building have been culminated throughout this year's course, tonight I feel confirmed.
Throughout this past year in confirmation and in my many years of Jewish education, I have learned a multitude of principles and commandments. I also learned how to read Hebrew, and I've continued to explore and discover my Jewish identity. There were times which we may have not been the most productive, or we got off topic, but I think I almost always gained knowledge and understanding of my faith through our discussions. This year we examined the great Jewish scholar Maimonides. We looked at his 13 principles of faith and his 8 levels of tzedakah. He proposed that the highest level of tzedakah is when one helps another to become self-supporting by a gift or a loan, or by finding employment for the recipient. Though all other levels of tzedakah are good, when one enables another to become self-sufficient, that person receives the capacity to better the world. This idea is also expressed in a quote by Lao Tzu, an ancient Chinese philosopher, that said, "Give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime." Though the ideas expressed in this quote and Maimonides' teaching are also the hardest to achieve, I think it is still important as Jews we strive to help another in this way.
Well, now we're going to turn to our Haftarah, and we read from the book of Ruth. And why do we read from the book of Ruth? Because this is the festival of receiving the Torah, and Ruth, in her own special way, is a wonderful example of someone who, on her own free choice, received the Torah. The blessing before the Haftarah is on page 512. The translation of Ruth is in the book.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratzav v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai Habocher b'Torah u'Moshe abdo u'Yisrael amo u'b'nvi'ei ha'emet b'tzedek. V'tomer Naomi lishtech altecha lechna shovna Isha levet ima Ya'as Adonai imochem chesed ka'asher asitem im hametim ve'imadi yeten Adonai lachem umatzen menocha Isha bet Isha vatishach lachem vatisena konlan vatimkena.
Vatamarna la kietach nashuv la'ameh. Vatomer Naomi shovna venotai lama telachnach עמי, העוד לי חנים במאי, וחיו להם לאנשים.
שוב נא בנותיי, לך נא, כי זקנתי מחיות לאיש, כי אמרתי, יש לי תקווה, גם הייתי הלילה לאיש, וגם ילדתי בנים. הלהם תסבנה עד אשר יגדלו, עליהם תעגנה לאתי האות לאיס על בנותיי, כי מר לי מאוד מכם, כי יצאה בי יד אדוני.
ותאמר רות, אל תפגעי בי, לעזבה לשוב מאחריים, כי אל אשר תלכי אלה, ובאשר תליני אלין, אמך עמי, ואלוהי לי אלוהי, ואשר תמותי אמות, ובשם אקבר, כה יעשה אדוני לי, והו יוספי, כי המוות יפריד ביני ובינך.
ותרד כי מצמאת היא ללכת איתה, ותחדל לדבר אליך, ותלך נשותיכם עד בואנה לכם, ויהי כבואנה בית לחם, ותחל כל העיר עליכם, ותאמרנה הזאת נעמי.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, צור כל העולמים, צדיק בכל הדורות, האל הנאמן, האומר ועושה, המדבר ומקיים, שכל דבריו אמת וצדק, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל הנביאים ועל יום השבועות הזה, שנתת לנו, אדוני אלוהינו, לששון ולשמחה, לכבוד ולתפארת, על הכל, אדוני אלוהינו, אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך, יתברך שמך בפי כל חי, תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש ישראל הזמנים. Amen.
Please turn to page 514 and rise. Yehalelu et Shem Adonai, ki nisgav shemo levado. Let us praise the name of Adonai, for God's name alone is exalted.
Share
What is confirmation? What is it we are confirming? You've all heard a lot of answers to these questions already, so here's something new. How does one explain the Torah to a potential convert while standing on one foot? Hi, I'm Jasper Owen, and clearly this is not the average confirmation speech, and yet it was one of the prompts. All the other prompts made a lot of sense, but being myself, I chose the weird one. Obviously, I was tempted to ignore whatever historical context this had and just give a speech on one foot, but at the last minute, I decided to do some research. But also, I will give this speech on one foot because I don't take shortcuts. Over here so you can see. Around 100 years ago, 100 years before the Common Era, my bad, a man promised Hillel he would subscribe to the ideas of Judaism, provided Hillel explained the entirety of the Torah on one foot. Basically, after a long story, Rabbi Hillel told the convert the golden rule. Don't do to others what you don't want done to you. And I think that's the real takeaway from Judaism or any religion. The culture and tradition are important, sure, but really it's ethics and morals that make you a good follower of your religion. I'm going to keep standing on one foot at this point. So I think it's fair to say that I've successfully connected the strangest prompt on Rabbi Katz's sheet to the importance of confirmation. Thank you all for listening.
I'd now like to call up the president of our congregation, Blanche Fenster, to receive the gift from this year's confirmation class.
Hi. On behalf of the confirmation class of 2019, tonight we will be presenting the temple with the gift of a picnic table. Although we don't actually have the table itself yet, it will go right out there. This table is supposed to represent community. When people sit at it outside on our beautiful grounds, they can not only share food, but also ideas and fellowship. We hope everyone gets the chance to enjoy it.
Well, I thank you on behalf of myself, the Board of Trustees, and the entire congregation. That is something where we can build community, and I'm a little bit thankful you don't have it today because you didn't try to hand it to me, so that's good. I'd like to take a minute just to wish you all a mazel tov on this moment, and for reaching this part of your journey. Because remember, it is a journey, and this is not the end, it's actually closer to the beginning of your journey. Listening to all the speeches that you all gave, I was reminded of a piece of our Shabbat service, one of the readings. And the reading that came to mind was, as you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean this struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. The important thing is this struggle that you all feel is probably the most Jewish thing that you can do. So keep the struggle going, sit at the picnic table and talk about it amongst yourselves, and mazel tov, keep going on your journey, use this moment, this place, this community as your touchstone. And I look forward to seeing where you all go with it.
It is my honor at this time to invite my colleagues, Mr. Ilan Adar and Mrs. Pauline Rosenberg, to offer up the certificates and gifts to the confirmands.
All right, so I'm going to call you up, and I'm going to give you your certificate. Mr. Adar has the book. We're going to wish you a little mazel tov, but I'm also going to give you a big hug because I have known you guys for a long time, and it's always my pleasure to watch you up here and see how wonderfully you have grown from those goofy 7th graders to these wonderful young adults. Tali. John Carney.
Congratulations. First of all, hi. Okay. Congratulations.
Julia.
Congratulations.
Zoe.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Elena.
Congratulations.
Jasper. You can walk or you can hop.
Congratulations.
Mari.
Congratulations.
John got one.
John, see what you started?
Jackie.
You want to hug too?
Yes. Ava.
Congratulations.
Izzy. Eli. Your certificate.
The Torah teaches in a very funny way that all of us stood at Sinai. Each one of us was there. It says those who are not standing here this day, those in the future. So in a sense, we're all standing at Sinai, and that is the reenactment of the ceremony. By the way, there is an online, or I don't know if it's online, but an Orthodox dating service saying, called I Saw You at Sinai. What happened at Sinai? 10 commandments were given, 10 words, the 10 ideas. And if you remember the first verse in Lechado Day, we sing Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, keep and remember. And that signifies the fact the 10 commandments appear twice in the Torah, but they're different. You remember that? They're different. Was it a mistake? Did somebody say, got it right one time, and then the next guy who wrote it down didn't write it correctly? No. The rabbis teach something that I think is important for us to think about and to understand about what our tradition says. God's voice is heard differently by different people. It's heard in different ways. The question is, are we willing to listen? And so if we're willing to listen, we might come up with Shamor, to keep Shabbat, Zachor, remember Shabbat. That's not the important thing. The important thing is that we listen, and as Blanche said, we struggle, and we try to find the meaning that fits for us. And that's what this is all about. We receive the Torah through struggle and trying to understand with our own ears and minds.
We have been taught that in each age we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment we are addressed by the world. In each age we are challenged by our ancient teaching. And at each moment we stand face to face with truth. In each age we add our wisdom, your wisdom, to that which has gone before. At each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder. In each age, you, the students of Torah, become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth. We say Mazel Tov to each and every one of you as you are at this stage of your journey, and we are so eager to see what you will build, how you will be that next block, that next link in our chain of tradition, and we wish you a Mazel Tov, and we are excited. We continue now as we offer these blessings to our confirmands, and we ask the cantor and the rabbi to join us.
May God bless you and watch over you.
God's face be turned unto you, and may God be tender and gracious with you.
God's countenance be lifted up to you. May you be blessed. Shalom. Peace. Amen.
Join us, please, as we turn to our concluding prayers. We invite you to turn to page 586 as we rise for the Elenu. Our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. If this is a period of Shloshim or Yahrzeit for you, please would you share that name of your loved one aloud as I look your way. And for all those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, we say Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing as we join together on page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei t'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam umei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei kusha b'rehu le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav hu yaseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all who are mourning, to all Israel, as we join together in saying, Amen. We continue now with the singing of Kiddush, which can be found on page 386.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei bericha gafen. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'charbonu mikol v'romamanu, mikol lashon v'kirashon v'mitzvotav, v'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu, b'ahava modim l'simcha, hagim uzmanim l'sason, et yom HaShavot hazeh, zman matan toratenu, mikra kodesh, zecher leitziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'charta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol העמים, ומועדי קודשך, בשמחה ובששון, הנחלתנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש ישראל בכל זמנים. Amen. L'chaim.
Parents of confirmands, we invite you please to turn to the inside, the second to last page of your prayer booklet, where you will in one moment share your blessing, your parents' blessing for your children, for your confirmands. When Moses ascended Mount Sinai, he received the Torah from God, a treasure to be shared with all. Its teaching was love and kindness, goodness and hope. Throughout the decades and the centuries, the Torah was handed down. Its values, its concerns, its timeless teachings were faithfully transmitted from one generation to the next.
See visions, and our hope shall rise up to the for tomorrow. Give us time, give us strength, give us life. Give us time, give us strength, give us life.
And I said, I did, thank you for letting me know, but I really love my job, I don't want to. Actually done by...
Dear Eli, congratulations on your confirmation. I am so proud of you. I know you have great things awaiting you this summer. I pray that your faith continues. Sorry. Your faith continues to grow stronger all the time. Love, Antoine. My aunt is Presbyterian, which is
Didn't write nearly as much as
congratulations,
downstairs. But I might keep it out for a little.
I've never been on this side. Only once.
word.
Did we get to step on glass? Were we the bride? I was not the bride. I remember that.
Yeah, I know. And not me. I practiced twice a day before. That's the good though.
open one of them works. These are still on.
Caesar, what are you doing? I'm getting my certificate. Oh.
Dad, Tony.
Honey! Honey! Honey!
Where's Mama Shayna?
She's in the one.
She's in the one
I have so many books. I'm so quirky.
Like, bye, honey, we're leaving.
Who's?
Me. I'm leaving too. To drive mom's car while she's in the bathroom.
Interrupted with burp.
Be careful with traffic.
I'm not driving. I'm not driving there. Then we get home, I'm driving to Dana, so we're talking back.
Bye, John. Bye, Millie. Oh, I gotta grab my Colgate too. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no, I brought them in a vase, so I need to put in a vase. And it worked out, kind of glad it worked out. Yeah, it's just like, this whole thing, I was talking to Sarah's mom, and there was a lot going on over there, apparently.
I thought she was sick, right? Is that what they told us?
Yeah, but, yeah, but I found that out when I called her mom, said, oh, my flowers just were supposed to both be sorry. That's what you found out. The canine was taken. Yeah, it's, you know, and plus the other things I was telling you about. It's been a week. Your mom will tell you. No secrets.
Can I take them? Is it okay to take these?
Yeah, take as much as you want. I'm just putting them in the bit. But will they use them at Shavuot? I don't know.
Well, I just promised myself I was really
Yeah.
Here.
Or should we? Here, I'll put some. Here.
I don't know.
No, you take what you want.
Are you sure?
Totally. But I just. It was. Yeah, like. Turn it. Got it. I got it, yeah. I should have stood up first.
Oh, I'm very relieved that we made it through that.
And you know what,
It's
if you were,
It's a tough
time, you wouldn't know that it was.
Nobody would have known. And that's like that. Yeah, you're right.
Well, here you are, Mom. You're waiting outside. You're so romantic.
So you have your pack of goodies?
She lost it.
What are you talking about? Your burns.
No, I
Oh, your book? Oh my gosh, you already lost the book.
It's up there. Please
Does it have
don't
Zoe
look.
Zedner's name on it?
Yeah, it does. That's my seat, so it's mine. Give it over here.